back to the bimini project. What I'm doing is I'm about to sew on the zipper for the backstay where the bimini splits. Now, thinking about it, I decided I wanted to reinforce this area since it's going to get a lot of, it's going to be rubbing against the backstay. So what I did was I made a small piece here. I sewed it on the very edge. Basically, it's umbrella doubled over. Then I'm going to use these nice green pieces along the edge before I sew the zipper in. So this will dress it up a little bit and help protect it a little bit as well. Eventually I'm actually going to use this green trim all the way around the bimini, but for this year I'm just doing this, and then over the winter when I bring it back I'll do the whole perimeter. Alright, that looks pretty nice. Nice from inside, nice on the outside, and I'm guessing eventually it will chafe, so I can just remove the stitching and replace it. The old one was 1 inch and 1/16. I'm going to do the same. Alright, that went pretty smooth, except there's something going on with my thread. I'll fix that. If anybody knows why the thread does this, I don't know if you can see it. I'll cut it. I don't know if that's coming out, but it looks like some of the strands are bunching up. If anybody knows how to stop that, please tell me. That's good. I probably put this a little too tight up against the fabric, but it's alright. It's only being zipped and unzipped once a year. So, looking good. Time to do the other side. Alright, so the exciting part will be getting this to line up right. Well, I pulled the zipper too far, but that's okay. But it's good. It's a little stiff, but that's okay. Next section here, I'm making the 2 little back panels that will go over the railing. I've cut them to shape. I've sewn the edges, flipped them over, put basket or basting tape or whatever on the edge that gets the zipper, and I'm going to attach the zipper now. So looking pretty good. Not Not the most even, but again, it's okay. And if you notice here, this is a little bit long. I screwed up when I had placed the order for zippers, so I got one that was way too long, but it's okay because I'm just going to cut it. And then I have the little things to clamp on. So I'm going to do probably the same, well, yeah, I'm going to just do the same thing for the other side. Alright, same thing, one of the rear panels, but the opposite side. Sewed up the edge. Gonna put the zipper on. Oh, 6 o'clock. It's time for Gracie's dinner. She's been pacing around for the last half hour or so. I can always tell when she's getting hungry. She always knows what time. She's a good biological clock here, or internal clock for figuring out her dinner time, so I'm going to have to feed her in a second. Alright, I'm going to have to trim this zipper, but I will do that later. First, I got to feed my girl. She's my priority. Alright, working on the centerpiece. It's a much smaller strip. I'm so excited. Once I get this bimini done, I'm pretty much done all the projects I can do at home. And I think the boat is just going to look spectacular with the new bimini and the new sail covers. The new sail covers look great. Can't wait to get the new sail. And that'll have the same color for the UV protection, so everything will be matched finally. Gracie's fed, so she's happy. Good. Have the centerpiece ready to go. I've actually put together the long piece that goes along the front of the bimini. So you can see here the seam for the middle. Since it was two pieces I connected, I did put the tape on here again, and of course it's not holding. So anyway, it's alright. Felt like something was biting my foot, but it turns out it was the zipper draped over it. So all the pieces that need to be put on the main body are now finished. What's going to happen now is these pieces, so there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to get sewn on the onto the body, and then once they're sewn on, then the actual other half of each zipper is getting sewn on as well. I think that's going to be a challenge, but we'll see how it goes. The other thing I'm going to do, there were no holes to bring straps through to attach. So what I'm going to do is, as I sew these sew this down, I'm going to leave an area on each side where it's not sewed down, so I can bring a strap through the actual hole and then clip it onto the hull of the boat. Well, in the front anyway, it gets clipped onto the hull of the boat. In the back, it'll get clipped onto the pulpit or the rail. I measured the old bimini, the distance where the panels started that had the zippers on them, and it turns out it was exactly 2 inches, and turns out this binder clip is exactly 2 inches long. So I've been going through and just using this as a guide along the edge to mark the location of where these panels are going to go. I'm working on the rear end. I did the front section already. But here, I'll show you what this mark will do. So here's a piece that goes on this side. This is going to get folded over and then lined up with this mark and sewn on right to the mark. All the way down, and then I'll sew the zipper on here, the other end of the zipper, and we should be good. You probably can't see it here. I mean, this edge doesn't look that great, but like I said, next year I'll get some piping or whatever you want to call it, that green, and fold it over here. And the other thing I'm going to do, the original actually had zippers along all the edges, so there was some sort of full enclosure. I'm going to, after I get the piping on there, or the edge trim, I am going to run zippers and then eventually build an enclosure. I definitely have to do it to the front so I can, when I build the Dodger, I can make a connector piece, which will be kind of interesting. I might have to make multiple connector pieces because the travelers in the cockpit, right on the bridge deck, so it comes, the main sheet comes up through or between the Bimini and the Dodger. So that'll take a little creativity. I made a couple different panels that allow me to swing the boom and the sheet to one side of the boat or the other. Or what I may do is just use snap fasteners to connect it, which something I have to think about anyway. Alright, so those are done. It's getting pretty late. It's Sunday night. I have a long day tomorrow at work, so I think I made pretty good progress today. I was hoping to at least get one of the panels on. I didn't expect to actually build all the panels, so figured I was going to make one panel, sew it on, make the next panel, sew it on, but I was on such a roll, I decided to do it that way. So all the pieces are done, basically, that need to go on. This is all marked with the exception of this centerpiece. So back to this. So what I'm doing, I'm going to try to at least get one panel, or at least, yeah, one of these panels on. So I'm using the old one as a guide. Make sure I get the edges lined up here where they need to be folded over, so I can align them to the marks I made on the new one. The alignment I'm most concerned with is this edge. This not so much, because the bar is going to be along this edge. So I want to make sure I get this sorted properly. I'm definitely not going to have enough clips. This is going to be a real challenge for sewing. There's actually a paper clip stuck in there, so that's going to help me. Actually, that's a good idea. Let me see if I have some more. Alright, that's good. Let's see how this lines up. This is going to look good, guys and gals. Here goes. God, I love this machine. Alright, that actually went a lot easier than I thought it would. So I'm pretty happy there. Alright, doing this again. Okay, good. Love it when a plan comes together. I don't know if anybody remembers the 18. Careful, sweetie. Gracie's getting wrapped up in the extension cord. Oh, good. It's a beautiful thing. So I think tomorrow I'll put the zippers on these and hopefully at least get the center section piece in. Alright, back to working on the bimini. So I spared you guys the trouble of watching me take the long piece and kind of fold it into the shape, you know. One thing I did do here, maybe see the green here. This is going to reinforce the area that I'm not going to sew down against the bimini. This is where a strap's going to go through for the front attachment of the bimini support frame. So I need to sew these first. I was using the old bimini again to get the right, sort of the right depth or width and curvature here. So time to start sewing. I used paper clips and these binder clips as well to kind of hold the shape for me. Alright, so I'm going to sew these little panels on. Alright, so those two pieces are ready. Now I have to, this is going to be fun. I don't have a lot of room here to work, so I need to stretch the bimini out widthwise the whole way. Might have to do it on the kitchen floor. I have to kick the dog out to do that because she likes to lay in there. Well, I'll try to do that and bring it back. got this over. I was able to get this lined up, so I'm ready to sew the front piece on, which is the longest. Making some progress. Alright, so that's up to the section for the strap. This is going to be a good test for the machine here. So there's 2 layers folded over, so that's 3 plus 4, 5 right there. And then actually it's even thicker here. I may actually have to stop the machine at this seam, but we'll see how it does. You have to just power through. Like a boss. Went right through. I don't think it hesitated at all. I did give it the beans though. My old machine would have just died right there and probably would have exploded in a million pieces. Back up to where the strap comes through. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Be nice to have some sun and rain protection. At least a little rain protection. The sun is pretty strong out there on the bay in the summer. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if that's a little bit of grease or something. I started taping down the zipper, getting it lined up. I'm almost to the end here. Let's see, I'm pulling the strip off the tape and making sure this is seated well. Actually, this is sticking really well to the zipper, so this is going to be a lot easier. I'm making sure fabric is nice and stretched in all directions. Taping it down. Now this is going to be the interesting part. I don't know if I should unzip it to sew this on. This thing's going to be in the way, the actual pull. If I could unzip it, it would make life a lot easier. Well, I can give it a shot and see what happens. Just be super gentle. Actually, no, if I run my finger along, it seems to be sticking. I don't know if I'll have this luxury for all the panels. The zippers are actually kind of stiff when they're new. Probably a little Teflon wouldn't be a bad thing, but a couple times opening and closing these should be alright. I'm going to start out slow. Thing I'm noticing is that the zipper is sort of bunching up ahead of the foot here, so I'm hoping that doesn't knock it out of alignment. It's very slight. I think I got it out. Slow here because of the curve. I probably shouldn't have gone that far. But we'll find out if that's okay. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, here comes the moment of truth. I'll take it. Looking good. I'd like to, I don't know if you can see this, I'll bring it up. This seam, eventually I'll figure out a way to dress it up a little bit. But it is done. It's rock and roll, the front edge. I just have the centerpiece now. Should go approximately here. And then put the zippers on the second half of the zipper on here, on both sides. And it's done once I do that. So pretty excited. Getting close. Getting down to the home stretch here. So I'm going to sew the back end of the zippers onto the back of the bimini, but first I need to apply the basting tape. Okay. Make sure this is pretty flat. One half of the back end of the bimini is done. Now time to do the same taping and sewing of the other half. So got the last zipper, the second rear zipper on with the tape. Spared you guys the boredom of watching that. I'm going to sew this on. Believe it or not, these scissors are one of the oldest things I own, and the reason they're one of the oldest things I own is because they were my mom's. She gave them to me. She used to sew everything with these, and you know, so these things have to be probably as old as I am, if not older. So there's one thing left, and that is the pocket that goes in for the center bar. That's going to take a bit of measuring. I'm going to probably do that in the kitchen because that's the kind of biggest open floor space I have. So I'll be off to do that, and I'll come back and then start sewing that together. And that is going to be, even though the piece is only maybe that long, it's going to be a bit of a challenge just because there's a lot of material on either side of it. So I'm going to have to kind of roll things up pretty tight without affecting the alignment, and then get that going. Alright, so measured this all out and taped it in the kitchen. I'm trying to bring this over carefully because I rolled it up. Probably can't even see this yet, but I'm going to do this carefully. This took a while. I think I got it pretty well in place. Yeah, this is a bit of a handful. Okay, that was a challenge. Now really the last thing is aligning the other half of the zipper and sewing that in place. I really like this color. It almost reminds me of like a denim. And it seems to pick up imperfections. So when the machine ran across it, it left kind of this cool line. It gets these weird little striations, or whatever you want to call them. There's probably a proper term. When you bend it or fold it. At first it bothered me, but it kind of makes it, I don't know, more organic. Might be a little weird, but I like it. And it really does go well with the green. This might actually be easier if I stand up. Or if I can bring the pedal far enough over. Okay, slide this out and see if I messed anything up. You might be able to see this part of it, but it came out pretty good. I think one thing I am going to do is this section here where I put reinforcing on the opposite side. I might put a little piece over here for extra reinforcing and just dress it up a little bit underneath. And this is hopefully the last set of stitches for this particular project. And that is that piece. So that looks pretty good. And that's a wrap, hopefully, for the bimini. This weekend I'll take it down and put it up. I'm so glad to be done this particular project. This is pretty complicated, at least for me. Well, I'm actually not done. Tomorrow I'll put the pulls on there, and then there are little metal clamps that go on the end since I cut these. But that should only take a few minutes, and then it's officially done. Okay, I'm back. Still working on the bimini, and really I have very little to do. And what I have to do is with the zippers. So I'm trying to pull this up here so I can show you. Alright, this is the front of the bimini. It has one zipper that goes all the way across. I didn't have to cut this or anything, so this is in good shape here. But the other ones I had to cut. So what I need to do, let's use this one as an example. The split for the backstay. If you notice, the zipper pull, well, I don't know if you can see it, but there's no zipper pull. And the reason being is because I cut it, the zipper pull can go straight off the edge there. So what I need to do is have the zipper pull. Here's one. I need to put it on one side, which you can't see. Maybe I can tilt this down. Okay, so it's on how it should be. Next thing I need to do, I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up or not. But there are these little metal clips. You may not even be able to see it. Hold on. Put on a pair of pliers. I don't know if that's focusing or not. I can't tell. But I think it may be focusing in the background. Let me try to move it up. But these clips get put over the little tangs on the zipper and then bent down. So I'm going to try to show you. So it goes on like that. And here's a, I don't want to knock it off, but it goes on either side like that, and then you just take the pliers. Needle nose works pretty well. You just squeeze it into place. Can be a little bit fiddly. Oh, I think I bent this one. That's what you get for trying to hold it up to a camera while doing it. But you squeeze it in place there. And I have a feeling I didn't put this one on right. I'm just trying to clip it on there. So now what should happen, the zipper pull can't come off. It's stuck, and that's how it's supposed to work. So yeah, let me tighten this guy up a little bit more. This side's pretty clean. The side I'm showing the camera is pretty clean. Okay. Okay. The zipper's on there good. Now I just have to do that for the opposite side of the zipper, opposite half of the zipper. Again, slip it on. Kind of start squeezing the halves together over the top and then squeeze it down at the bottom. And now it's on both sides. So, as long as I didn't mess anything up, zipper is good, and there's a little hole here. I'll get my finger in there, and that's where my backstay will come up. So one down, 1, 2, 3, 4 more to, well, 3 more to go. And this is it, very last one. That's it, clipped it. And with that, the bimini is done. Thanks for going through this little project with me. I'm really, really happy this is done. It's going to look great. So, time for a nice drink.